Wake up! All the shameless promotions, three-parters, mother-daughter brawls, and all of the dramatic nonsense that you can handle. This is the Rider Time Archive here on the Morphin Network. I am the fully embodied Mike, and with me is the disembodied Steve. Steve, how are you doing?
It's been a long one, legitimately. It's been a long one. I'm not currently in my current abode. I'm actually out of state right now, attending the Level Up Expo here in Las Vegas.
Ooh, swanky.
It is.
Yeah. And of course, we're here to talk about episodes 29 through 32 of Kamen Rider Kiva. And yeah, like things are really starting to converge.
it's slowly it's now being one cohesive story now.
Yeah. So. Yeah, it's really tricky because like for the first time we actually have a three-parter instead of a two-parter.
Then the round will start.
Which very much skews the whole like, oh, we're gonna talk about two stories every a week. No, now we're gonna do like half for a hot minute for the next 3 weeks. Yeah, so that's the thing. But Hyper Battle video, not much to say about it. We'll get to it eventually. But yeah, so how's Vegas so far?
It apparently the rain came in and I don't know what the heck is up with that. I mean, it didn't seem like rain yesterday.
Yeah.
But it was pretty long ride coming in, and then like just getting everything situated, everything set. I mean, so far the convention day one is already done. It's pretty big for a reason. It's gotten some massive traction.
Yeah.
So
well, as long as everyone's using deodorant.
Yeah,
that's what matters.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, we say this lovingly.
Yeah, we say it lovingly because no joke, that's what keeps them going. But I mean, it's like people don't know what deodorant is, especially nowadays.
Yeah.
Like, ever just been in a booth and someone reaches up at the top shelf to grab something and you just smell it? It's not even like a smell. It's like a thick presence of like I don't even know what it is. It just feels so thick that I'm just like, what we haven't even been here a freaking day, and it's like, oh well, I got a condition. I'm like, yeah, you don't wash.
Yeah.
Although I will say though, there's quite a bit of rider stuff here. I saw a couple figures, seen a couple of belts and whatnot. But also like one of the regulars of PMC and Japan World Heroes is here, the artist CV, which he does the Sentai Rider enamel pins and stickers.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so he's here. Was hanging out with him for a bit. And yeah,
I think I have 5 out of 6 Ninja Storm pins. Yeah. But one thing I definitely like about Robo Toy Fest, especially, is when I get to meet Mark Richardson because
oh yeah.
Yeah, one of my favorite things to get back in 2022, or no, wait, 22 probably because. No, wait, 21 because I think that was the year when because I think Robo Toy Fest after I started taking care of myself. So, but yeah, no, it was a great time regardless. And of course, I can't wait for Robo Toy Fest in 2 months, and I can't wait for Power Morphicon moving forward in August.
It's one hell of a lineup this year. It really is.
Yep. I'm saving up my my birthday cash for that. So yeah, I know people will be like, "Wait, hold on! Like, can't you just like use that money to get an Xbox?" Yeah, I could, but if there's a Megazord I need,
Yeah, that's true. Isn't that how it always is? Like you go and there's either a mech or a rider belt or something that's like,
yeah,
I cannot find this because you assholes bought it all up, or
yeah,
you know, yeah. No, I know the feeling. I know the
yeah,
feeling.
yeah. Like for me, it's like the one for me, like it was a lot harder like earlier on because like I had almost none of the Megazords. Like honestly, like the first season where I was actively collecting the Megazords for was Jungle Fury. Because that's when I started, actually getting some like spendable cash. Yeah, I never had the Ninja Megazord until 2021. I never had Turbo Megazord. Still don't, but at least I have the Rescue Turbo Zord, like after the previous PMC. So every convention, I would have to like spend more money to get as many of the Zords as I can. But as soon as the benefit is like if I get a bunch of them at a rate faster than the number of conventions that exist, that means there's fewer Megazords I need to collect moving forward. So it's like at this point,
have you tried going and contacting Ginta or?
Oh yeah, Gita is like the first person I go to.
Yeah, I'm like, wouldn't it be like to go down to Frankenson's and see what he got at his stall? For those who don't know,
well, Frankenson's got way harder to attend in general, just because like they moved further east and stuff, and even like in its original location, it was a mission because it's a 60-mile drive in each direction. But believe me, every time I did go to Frankenson's, I made the most of it. But the point is, as the years go by, I have fewer Megazords I need to find.
Right.
So yeah, so like at this point, it's like honestly, unless I find like a pre-owned Astro Megazord and what else? Ninja Storm Megazord. I don't think I really need anything. I mean, obviously, Boom Boom Robo, definitely need to get that. But like, other than the obligatory Sentai of the Year mecha, it's like I'm running out of Megazords that I.
Well, yeah, no. I mean, to me, it's also the same. It's like I have only a couple of the original Japanese.
Yeah.
From from just here and there and where I can get them.
Mm-hmm.
Also, like, depending on like a couple of like CSM rider belts.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it really is that whole thing about like, well, that's why we have credit cards. I'm like, yeah, but I mean, it's one thing when like, oh yeah, no, but if it's a really hard find, which, as we all know, depending on certain mechs on certain things, they are very hard to find, especially as the years go by. Like, you think, like, oh, you're going to... No. You will not find anything on the cheap. You will not find anything like... If your favorite rider is Hibiki or Kabuto or Kiva, you will not find anything under $100.
Like freaking like when it comes to like Sentai Robos, it's like the cheapest they would ever be is usually towards the end of their year,
of their actual run.
Yeah, because it's like at that point it's like we like the vendors or like sellers, they're like, we need to make room for the next Sentai, so we need to get rid of these that we haven't already sold. But then like 2 or 3 years later, they become like sort of vintage. So it's like, oh, now we're gonna mark them back up.
Yeah, I never understood that. I mean, like certain things, just like, oh yeah, because like it's old, they don't make it anymore. I'm like, no, that I get, but still. Yeah. It kind of seems like, especially when it comes down to Sentai Robos or anything from Japan, it's like they will immediately like label it as the American, which I'm like, no, this is way better than the American version.
Yeah, unless it's Power Ranger, in which case it's the rare instance where the American one is better.
Yeah. It's like no. Don't tell me that this is like because they just they price it as that. I'm like no.
Yeah. It's like this. It's like this. The benefit of getting the non-deluxe Jungle Pride and Rev Megazords, like freaking the Jungle Fury and RPM Megazords is they're cheaper. They're lower in quality, but they're cheaper, which means if you want to get all the Zords, you can.
Well, yeah,
they're more easily accessible.
A recent example was the whole Dino Fury and Ryu Soldier thing. Ryu Soldier had all these auxiliary mechs and whatnot and all this other stuff. It was like, but you knew watching it as an American, you knew we're not going to get these. You knew for a fact. That was like the whole debate. I mean, look what happened with Megaforce and Gokaiger. Like there was the crowning example about what happened there.
Yeah.
But then it's like with Ryu Soldier, it's kind of like, or with Dino Fury, it was like, auxiliaries behind us. They did come out with the original 3 mechs, which that was even like I'm not sure they're going to do that, but they did come out with the fire. With the, the one I'm talking about. Which there is no
Demon
way.
Volcano.
There's no way they're going to do that. There's no way because they didn't even do. They didn't do the Packy. They didn't do the Raptors. They didn't do like America really just dropped the ball. Which that's why it's like
I get it. Like you made your Zords more posable, apparently, but was it really that worth it though?
I mean,
and the crazy part is, getting the Japanese deluxe set of 5 was $10 cheaper than getting the American version of all 5 sets of all 5 Zords.
Unless you found them like at Ross, just ridiculously cheap, which that's what I did.
Yeah,
I found them like whatever. I mean, I'm barely watching Ryu Soldier, so I'm not really connected to Ryu Soldier as much. So I was like, okay, whatever, it's there, but I know this is not. This is not Teramigo. This is not Anki Rose or anything. Like, whatever. But you know what? That's just how it is. And the thing is with Toko and American stuff, it's like it's night and day. It just depends on what it is. If you know, and if you don't, well, you know what? Ignorance is bliss.
Get ready to learn.
But you know what's not ignorance is bliss? Falling in love with the pearl.
Yeah.
Let's jump into this. And get your crackers ready, ladies and gentlemen, because this clam is oh god.
Yeah. Let's get through the 86. Sorry, the 86 part up to that climactic moment. And then we'll get through the 2008 up to that climactic moment. So really quick, Otoya and Yuri were kind of settling into their new lives together as a couple, but there is the unfinished business of she's not ready to settle down until she brings Rook down. And she becomes obsessed with it to the point that Otoya's like, I'm going to need you guys to make a distraction. So you even have Riki cosplaying as Rook, but with Hiragana instead of Katakana.
I was like, you got to explain who's there. You're saying, well, he got who? Was like, so our precious weapons. Ricky, Ramon, and Jiro. Jiro boy finally shows back. He finally comes back. That good boy that he is, licking his wounds because now your woman is with this idiot.
Yeah, a lovable idiot, but still an idiot.
Not yet. Remember, not yet. They still kind of don't like him until that day happens. But they're like, I know she won't settle down until finally,
take Rook down.
Rook, and so you're right. Yeah, you're right. They do make a distraction of that.
Mm-hmm. And I love Otoya's reaction to to finding out that Ricky and Ramon were a Franken and Merman all along. I'm like,
are you serious?
Really never?
I seriously said that. I'm like, they're hanging out with this guy who is literally a werewolf with blonde highlights.
It's like you see these two hang out with Jiro all the time while they're in their human form. And you've seen Jiro in his wolfen form hang out with these two monsters. How crazy would it be if these two monsters turned out to be these two human dudes? Or incredibly socially awkward.
Oh, Toya. You know what? Good for you. Good for you, Toya. You finally figured it out. I'll give you a pat on the head. I'd give you a biscuit, but Jiro ate them all.
Yeah. Meanwhile, man. So like basically, they try to fight off. Rook, who's going after people wearing glasses, and so like they try to distract him by having them all wear glasses. But that only means is that if he just mildly kicks their butts, he still gets ice cream, which he does.
It feels like he's still on those games, but I'm like, you know what? That's kind of how his thing is. And again, good for you. You're showing us that you actually like stick to what you do, bro.
Yeah.
Even though you're kind of a dumbass, you know. Especially like it took you so long to realize that the women you were stalking, one of them happened to be the queen. So
yeah,
I mean, I'm surprised. I'm surprised no one killed him. Because you know how like
you think Bishop would step in and like, bro, you just attacked the queen. But then again, does Bishop ever like the queen? Because it's like we already know he doesn't like Mio. We already know he doesn't like Mio, and I'm not given any reason to think that he might have any positive feelings towards Maya. Especially since, like, she's hanging out with this human all the time.
It kind of just boils down. It's like, even in real life royalty. I mean, you have like the royal advisors and all that stuff. Do they actually give a shit about? I mean, the one thing that Bishop keeps going on and on about is the king. It's like, the king. Why don't you get on your knees and just start blowing him, Bishop? Because that's really all you care about. And it's like, no, I don't think he actually does care about Maya or Mio at all. Like, I really don't.
Well, let me say this. For all you Digimon fans, have you ever heard the story of the moth and the bat?
Yeah. Although, it's really that whole thing, I mean, if well, I don't know chess. I don't know chess at all. But the queen is the strongest piece, but even the queen can be taken out by a pawn. Absolutely. Isn't that right? Yeah.
And a pawn can be promoted to queen.
And it's like, well, you have the rook over here, which rooks, I mean, I don't really know how that works if we're in contact with the queen, but I mean, the bishop is kind of like the second, like considered to the king and queen, like kind of like, one of those that are like, yeah, if you take that, it's a big thing. I mean, I don't know. I'm just talking right now, but
yeah. Well, the thing is, depending on the context you look at, the rook is both the DPS and the tank because basically the rook is based on like the very castle walls that protect the kingdom.
Yeah.
But the walls themselves are also fortified by archers who do long range attacks. In fact, that's why even though the rook is based on the castle walls, it's able to move forward and sideways so far because it's playing on the fact that archers have long range attacks.
Yeah,
obviously,
no,
this rook doesn't
about
follow
bishops,
that.
Yeah.
But bishops attack
diagonally.
diagonally.
Yeah, I would imagine that Bishop doesn't care about the Queen at all. It's not just like anything like royal advisors. They just care about that the king is arriving. They care about that the person in charge, the big man, is about to show up. And that's kind of what it is with this because, yeah, so Rook is just going around and killing everybody, but apparently there's a confrontation with Otoya and everyone else just getting their asses handed to them. But then out of Rise, Otoya like gives Yuri the Ixa knuckle.
Yep. Yeah, because it's like at the end of the day, it's her fight. It's her fight.
It is her fight, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, and I love how everyone was just like licking their wounds in part 2 of this 3-parter, where it's like, wow, you all got injured, and you, Jiro, why are you back here? And I love how Jiro's like, oh no, I still want Yuri, but I can't kick your ass until like we take our Rook. So yeah,
yep,
yeah. But yeah, so they have a warehouse fight scene, and Yuri even makes an impressive plan of like, what if we overload the Ixa knuckle, trick Rook into wearing it, so he would become severely injured, and then take it from there.
Well, yeah, because I mean, we kind of proven that even Fangires could wear this damn thing. It's like it's not just something that, like, I would imagine there'd be some type of protection or something for it not to be used in horrible hands, but apparently not. So yeah, they do that, and then Rook gets like he gets literally the reverse card in Uno, just like oh, you tricked me, you should have. And though that stalled enough time for Yuri to show up because because Yuri was kind of banged. Like, I think like there was something that happened before, but like Yuri just like came and finally does a transformation. Which now go on.
Yeah. So flipping to 2008, because we're putting a pin on this fight. Basically, Mio's being pressed by Bishop to like, you have to act like the queen. You have to be killing Fangires that fall in love with humans. Blah blah blee blah, and yet you carpool with us. Me and what's called Megumi is just suddenly extra obsessed with Rook, and it doesn't help to add the fact that her brother shows up out of nowhere. It's like Megumi, you gotta quit so you can get married. I'm like, oh, it's one of those type of episodes. Usually it's the mom who does it.
But I mean, given the circumstances of her mom,
given the circumstance.
But first off, I was like, wait, Megumi, you have a brother? Like,
when did this happen?
When did this happen? Like, you legitimately have a brother. Like,
and he's not afraid to slap a dame.
Yeah, I was like, ooh, he threw hands. But I was just like, wait. You have a brother.
And he throws hands.
Yeah, and he throws hands. But I'm like, well, it's his sister, so I can kind of give him the benefit of the doubt, but not really, because it's like, you should get married. I'm like, guy, the girl is like barely like 21.
Yep.
I mean, what? Like barely. I don't know.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, well, first of all, wait, you have a brother. You have a brother.
And he
never mentioned him before.
Up.
Never said anything.
But conveniently, he wins the lottery.
Oh yeah, he's rich. Yeah, he's got money.
Yeah, it's like if the family business, whatever that may be, is so important, why don't you get married so that you have some kids to inherit your lottery money?
First off, why are you giving a shit about inheritances? I'm like, I'd be spending that money till the grave. I'd first buy my plot and then start spending.
Yeah, but I imagine in Japan there's like two kinds of people when it comes to winning the lottery. The people that invest for long term and the people that splurge it all at once. as opposed to America where it's strictly splurging all at once.
Well, I would be smart about it. Like I said, I'd buy the whole first of my grave, and then the rest, some goes into investments, others go into what needs to be done, and then the rest is probably some spending money for myself with no guilt. But yeah, I mean that's my way of thinking. But yeah, I'm like, so he just happens to show up talking about that, and Megumi is just like, again, very Megumi eccentric episode here.
Yeah.
But there's also some crap with Shizuka.
Yeah, I was like, why'd you take it away?
You know what? I've seen this show so many times, and it still surprises me that I'm like, why? Like, I understand why later on, we get it, but it's like, why you be cock blocking my boy? Like, I get it. This is your quote unquote son, Shizuka, my darling waifu, but you gotta let the boy dip his toe in the pool, for crying out loud. You can't. What are they? Oh, because apparently she's been like blocking Mio's calls and or Mio's been calling, but he has not given it to Wataru, and Wataru's over here like a sad little bat, just like, oh man, someone's playing My Chemical Romance right now. Wataru, you okay? And all you just hear is, I was a young boy. My father took me into the city to see the violins. I'm like, oh. But she's like, yeah.
But see, the reason why that My Chemical Romance song doesn't work is because Daddy wasn't there to take me to the fair. Change my
yeah.
Man, and like you could tell, the actress who played Shizuka, she had a lot of fun doing these two episodes because like the over dramatic way in which she had her like devil moments and her angel moments, and no dramatic moments. It's like where like Nago comes out of the bathroom. He's like at this rate he'll never get out of the bathtub, and she's like. Wait, hold on.
Yeah. That's the whole thing with Shizuka. This was like the low point for Shizuka, in all honesty. It's one thing to be protective of your people, it's another to just total sabotage.
She absolutely sabotaged their relationship.
She's busting his balls without him even knowing. And she's just there like, oh, my poor Wataru, don't worry, I'm here. I'm like, honey, you're 14. You are 14 years old in this show. Don't even.
But I already bought 2 tickets to the concert with Mio. Well, I could be your +1. After all, I'm the one who fed you, clothed you, changed your diapers. And you know how hard it is for a 2-year-old to change the diapers of a 12-year-old?
So bullshit.
She even mentions like when she convinces the two of them to make up. It's like at last it's my destiny to become Wataru's mommy. And then she has an angel moment, and she's still like,
oh yeah. She did the classic shoujo laugh, which it was like, you know what? I wonder if there's such a word for overbearing Jewish mothers.
It's called
Japan.
yenta.
It's called yenta. But I mean, like in Japanese, like an actual term in Japanese.
Oh, what's the? Hold on.
Yeah, I don't know what that is, because I know like Okasan is mother, Obasan is grandmother, but I don't know if there's actually like, a term for that in Japan, like overbearing mothers. I have no idea. I know there are, but that I'm not sure of. But yeah, she's a guy. Oh God. And I'm like, you know what? I'm so glad that Megumi was not aware of this, because she probably would have kicked her ass.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like leave it to Megumi for being the emotionally intelligent person, and emotional intelligence is not something that I typically acknowledge.
Especially with Megumi.
Yeah.
Love you, Megumi. I love you so much, but goddamn, I would trust you. I would trust you to help me at a food challenge than to be emotionally supportive.
And yet somehow she has to be the emotional rock for everyone.
Yep.
I mean, it's either her or Mr. Black and White Nago.
Yeah. All right, hang on. I'm going into a dead zone right now. If I cut out, I'll be back, but I don't think it'll be that much of a problem.
But at least we know how to push Nago's buttons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Meanwhile, Rook shows up. Actually, no. There's two things to factor in here. One is the Warthog Fangire, who has 3 swallows lined up against his snout. Who's a cowboy, and he wants to become the new king. What's this? A pawn that wants to overthrow a king. So he's like going after every person claiming to be a psychic, and let me tell you, man, if this episode is proof of anything, don't trust psychics. I mean, I can go over this so many times, but like,
yeah. Especially this guy who was like, I mean, you thought Miss Cleo was shady with like how she put her. This guy, like he takes that and the takoyaki. Like he is just like, are you really a psychic? Are you really?
Why, yes. Hey,
well,
yes. And it's sad because like one of the victims of the Warthog Fangire, like he wasn't even like claiming to be a psychic. He was just doing stage illusion, which I definitely don't have a problem with, unlike people claiming to be psychic. It's like making a spoon levitate. That's pretty normal sleight of hand. Like I have no problem with this. And all of a sudden he finds himself elevating along with the fork because turns out he's about to get murked. Poor guy. But yeah, all these other psychics, I don't care about you guys. And like even to lure him out, like they even stage an illusion where some dude named Redman is like makes a building disappear, and you could tell it's Aozora just like using a cloaking device or something. And of course, naturally, he also gets murked. But what's really weird is that you don't see his skin like becoming transparent. So I like Boar just like stabs the neck like Fangires normally do, and just stops it right there. And I'm like wondering, like, is this a post error or is that intentional? Where it's like, oh, your life energy is not worth draining.
That was quite strange. I'm like, so did you just like bite him only not to? Like, yeah, okay, we have a guy with morals, I guess.
Yeah, more or less. Yeah. Meanwhile, Rook in present day tries to do the time game with glasses being the theme, but then he realizes, wait, I already did this before. So he gets an existential crisis, like, oh my god, I've run out of
ideas.
Yeah, I've run out of games to play. Existential crisis.
He's having a midlife crisis. Next thing you know, he's gonna go buy himself a Ferrari or something just because he's like, he just ran out of ideas. That's it. Yeah. He just doesn't know. Scotty don't know.
Scotty don't know. Don't tell Scotty.
Scotty don't know. Or at this point, I'm like, well, I mean, your mindset is kind of old, though. Like, I'm like, you could just cell phones, girls with highlights, or people with different colored hair. That's, I mean.
Yeah, heck, even the Ferrari thing, like, why doesn't he just go after people driving sports cars?
Yeah, like, well, I mean, this lion ain't very smart, so.
Yeah, Yeah, but somehow, like, he overhears a woman read a story of Animarium to her child. It's like, and so the Turtle Cove, like the island flew up into the sky, and much like how the lion is the king of all the animals, so too is the Red Ranger, the leader of the Wild Forest Rangers. And it's like, wait a minute, I'm a lion. Does that make me the leader of the Fangires? I thought I was just a peon. Oh my god, I'm having an existential identity crisis.
Yeah, no. I kind of heard that and I was like, wait, now you're giving him ideas. Don't give him ideas. Like, what are you doing? But technically, it's like it wasn't her fault. She wasn't aware that he was listening. Nor that this is a demonic, like, you know, lion boy.
Yeah, it's like, it's like how would she know that a former Air Force pilot is listening in on their conversation after going AWOL after finding a giant mechanical eagle in the middle of a routine flight?
Yep.
Yeah, but apparently we read a story about a character named Sebastian who walks the path of heaven, and so Rook is like, I want to walk the path of heaven. Maybe I should get some miso.
Yeah, what the hell is up lately? Oh man, you got miso.
Yeah.
Miso, like that, you know, don't get me wrong, man. The miso soup feels, or the spicy tofu miso feels, is like strong at times. But I'm like, where after plotting like domination and the killing of mankind, did you just like, you know what? I want me some miso.
Yeah. So Rook starts trying to do good things, like carrying an old lady across the street to a hospital, retrieving a balloon from a tree for a child. And it's just so weird seeing him do nice things. The only thing short of that would be if Rook started killing other fan guys. It's like, you humans need help. Okay, I'm gonna save you guys from this Fangire. But just to be clear, this is me trying to get to heaven. This has nothing to do with me liking you.
It's for all you people out there. It's Has Been Hotel. He's trying to ascend to get up to heaven. Next thing you know, this lion's gonna bust into a musical. Because it's a wonderful day in hell. I'm like, yep, there we go.
Yeah, here we go.
Yeah, this lion is trying to ascend. I can't help it. I can't bear anymore. I have to dance.
Mm-hmm.
And he starts busting into song.
Yeah. And meanwhile, Kengo has to deal with his hand getting busted from episode 28. And after getting so much reassurance from Wataru, they're like, "Oh, your hand will heal." Turns out it's not going to heal. And then even freaking Ixa finds out that Wataru is Kiva, and it's like, "I want to make you my apprentice." And he overhears it, like it's like that scene from Dragon Knight when everyone's just like celebrating that they took down one of those 6 transponders. And then Adam just happens to walk in the room and hear some laughing, and out of context, he just misperceives it as to them be like, ha, 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 Adam's such a noob, when they're just celebrating, dude. This has nothing to do with you. You just showed up at the wrong time. And like, it was like, you steal my crush? You steal my talent agent? You steal my ability to play guitar? And now you steal my sense? I hate you, Wataru.
Yeah, but didn't we? But if I remember right, you know, what the hell? Didn't we find out something about Kengo? Wasn't there like a little nugget that kind of dropped, like that? Like, okay, he can't play the guitar anymore, but it's like, did he ever, or could he ever? I might be remembering it wrong.
I mean, he used to play guitar.
I mean, now technically because of what happened with his hand, yeah. But I'm like, you know what, Kengo, when Wataru told you that the Fangires were like gonna use you and gonna, like, you didn't believe him. You know, like, why are you being a jackass all over again? I ask you, like, why are you jumping into, like, again, Wataru has been your fan this whole time.
Yeah, he was your biggest fan.
He was your biggest fan every time, like
He believed
whatever.
in you, even when Shizuka wouldn't.
Oh yeah, and you know your dream is bullshit when Shizuka is like, nope. It'd be even worse if our girl, different series, but you get the feeling of what I'm saying.
Mhm.
Is if our girl Mitan told you your dream is bullshit.
Oh yeah, and if she's the one to tell it to you,
And
you
if
know.
she's the one, so Shizuka and Mitan, Mia is like they're both one and the same in terms of attitude. I'm like, nope, she's telling the truth, man. She's telling it how it is, and it don't matter what you say.
Mhm. Yeah, again, 14-year-old mommy.
That just sounds so wrong. It really does. But I mean, it makes sense later on.
Yeah. So Ken goes out of the picture for now. Well, he does get words of reassurance from the head of Aozora. So yeah. So we're about to get to that point. We like Megumi is so fed up with Nago. She's fed up with her brother. She's fed up with everyone. So naturally, she goes. She like researches her mom's notes on Rook and finds out he does have a weakness on his shoulder.
He does.
And I'm
because
like, why doesn't that look? I feel like it should look increasingly worse than it actually does in the show.
Yeah, but there's a reason why that happened.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, how does she know? It's like, because your mom did it.
Yeah.
Your mom was the reason why he's got that weakness. I mean, also it kind of makes you like look at Rook this whole time. Well, yes, a powerful like being as he is, but go back to those past episodes and see how he fights. Like just Rook himself. Just Rook, like, not human form, but him fighting against Kiva or Ixa. And you tend to notice that he's like he uses more his his left arm more than his right. Like you tend to notice wait, why do you keep punching with the same arm? Why don't you use both? But it's like, no, that's why. It's like, that's why, especially like with the stuff that's been happening now, like not the back then fights, but the now, like when they found out who he was, and I was like, wait, what? Why isn't he using his other arm? It's because of the weakness that happened to him.
Yeah.
So foreshadowing even way before.
Yeah. So we see Kiva fighting Rook while Ixa fights against what's his name, Warthog. But then they basically switch partners. Basically, it's like because Warthog's like, like Kiva is supposed to be king, right? So if I kill you, that'll make me king, right? Meanwhile, outside this battle, Mio is met by Rook and Bishop, and she's given orders to kill Kiva. Because your duty is not only to kill Fangires that fall in love with humans, it's also to protect them from Kiva. Go kill Kiva. Go kill Kiva. Go kill Kiva. And we even see a silhouette of King.
Yeah.
And so what's it called? Kiva's fighting Rook. No, sorry, he's fighting Warthog while Ixa switches to fighting Rook, and then of course Nago demorphs and hands Megumi his Ixa knuckle, which brings us to that moment. And
the one that you posted.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. It was literally it was finally like the passing of the torch. Even though technically it's 20 years in the future, and it's like Nago kind of just like, finally, just stop, just like, no, it's your time, it's your turn, it has to be you because this is your mom's fight. You have to do this, Megumi. And just right as you see right there, ladies and gentlemen, both mother and daughter do the knuckle punch, henching, and then obviously
so
the
beautiful.
two sons, bright as light, daughter and mother, now morphed.
It is just so gorgeous to see happening in real time. Even when I first watched it back in 2008, it was still 2008. It was just so hype, man. Like the moment we've all been waiting for has finally arrived.
It was a moment that I'm like, yeah, if anything, yeah, this is where it has to be, because I'm like, we all knew that Rook was like his final moments were like coming, obviously, like it was all spelled out, but like who else would to do it other than, you know, both mother and daughter laying the final blows. Where Yuri kind of didn't finish him off. Obviously, she didn't kill him, but it was her daughter Megami that wound up doing the final blow, or like being attributed to it, helping with finally beating Rook.
So Yuri managed to use like this final attack against she basically used this final attack on what's his name on Rook, damaging his shoulder, while Megumi attacks the shoulder as well. So in both cases he seemingly shatters, and they both say, I have avenged my mother. And this is where I start asking questions, because like, wasn't it implied in it earlier in the show that Yuri was killed by Rook, so Megumi wants to avenge her?
That's the thing that you know, kind of first watching this way back when in 2012, I was like, wait. Well, Rook ran away, so Rook couldn't have killed Yuri.
Yeah.
And then
so what happened?
What happened actually? Who did it? You know, that's one mystery that we will learn about.
Yeah, and so like I'm just like left wondering, like, wait, if she didn't die, did like Rook come back a second time in those 22 years or what? And if he shattered, like, how did he reconstruct as Dai-chan?
Well, you know, remember, like, she did that. He ran off, but it was kind of like, apparently what had happened was like he went and rested. Like he was like, yeah, I didn't win. I lost. So now I must punish myself. Which that's why it's like, yeah, like 20 some odd years, you know, Rook was asleep or in timeout. You know, he was just like, nope, I must punish myself. And so this Dai-chan pretty much was left to, you know, monitor or to kind of co-pilot him for a while.
Yeah.
So that's my whole thing about it. But I'm like, I don't believe that, like, you know, that Rook had anything to do with Yuri's eventual downfall. If you know, just talking about it.
Yeah. See, and like even with the whole Dai-chan appearing with amnesia, I would have been under the impression that maybe like Rook and Yuri basically double KO'd each other, where like Yuri dies, which would raise, or maybe she had like some internal injuries that would cause her to die later on, like she would succumb to them. While Rook would just injured. Be like,
she was injured before, because Otoya told Yuri to like, don't push yourself, don't get back to work, because that's how just the person that Yuri is. But in the end, she came back and then donned the Ixa knuckle. So regardless, she wasn't like, you know, I mean, Otoya, you know, this Ixa really wears down a person. They really do. So it's kind of like,
I still remember the bathroom scene.
Yeah, imagine like like an able-bodied person. They get exhausted to the point of like death. They're like, "Oh my god, like what?" But imagine someone who was in the hospital, who was injured beforehand, not at 100%, and donning the eat some knuckle for a long, period of time or longer than their
While it's
stamina can go.
overclocked as well.
Yeah, while it's overclocked. So it's like, yeah, we might. This is one nail in Yuri right now.
Yeah, but for for Rook though, like I would have figured that he would have been knocked unconscious, like maybe like thrown into a river, and like he was just comatose the entire time, and then 22 years later wakes up as Dai-chan, and then gives us the most emotional backstab in TV history.
If only that was the way.
Yeah, but it isn't. He just shatters, and then I guess he reconstructs, apparently, which will raise some questions in the future. But, but yeah. So present day, Yuri defeats him. She has a sweet moment, but before Kiva could take a moment to enjoy his win against Warthog, freaking Mio from behind turns into a pearl shell Fangire and just assaults him. And that concludes the three-parter.
Yeah, there it is. That's it. Like, she just straight up attacks him from behind, and yeah, that's all. That's all.
Yeah. That's all there is.
I don't think Wataru was even aware of what happened.
Nope. Yep. Because in the next episode, it basically starts off with both Wataru and Mio treating each other's injuries, which is a cute moment if you ignore the fact that, they inflict the injuries on each other.
Yeah.
So there's that. There's not much to say for the 1986 part of the story, because all there is to it is Otoya and Yuri finally settle down. But of course, she starts talking about marriage, which seems to bother Otoya a little bit, and she burns his shirt.
I mean, Otoya just said that he loves Yuri, but I don't know. He seems to be the kind of guy that doesn't commit. Like, just my opinion of the guy. But I mean, he is love struck, but he's not the one to commit.
Yeah.
Which again, like, speaks volumes to his character and also what is to come.
Yeah. Meanwhile, he is napping at a carnival, and it just so happens that he's awoken by Maya, who plays the violin really well.
Yes, she's very skilled at playing it.
Yeah,
kind of wonder where Wataru got his talents come from,
Yeah. And honestly, let's be honest, we know why. And it's kind of the intro sequence kind of hinted at it, where Maya was directly tutored by Antonio Vivaldi himself.
Well, she's several thousands of years old. So.
Several hundred, but and she had several hundred years to practice. So actually, you could be right. She probably is several thousand years old.
Well, I mean, she looks great for someone who's like over a couple of thousand.
Yeah. And of course, she plays the violin to the point that time seems to slow down for Otoya.
Yep.
And then we finally see Castle Doron in this time period.
Yeah, where's it been? It just kind of randomly chose.
It's just sleeping.
It's just no one's noticed this ancient Victorian castle with a dragon sticking out of it, just sleeping in the forest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. and of course, like she meets a butler and tells her to take care of her son Taiga, which, as we
Yep.
learned in the past, is the name of Wataru's childhood best friend.
Which he actually talks to Mio about in this episode.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And then, of course, she tells the butler to take care of him at all costs. And meanwhile, in present day, Mio is met with King, who looks very suspiciously familiar.
Are we talking about King, or what we assume to be King? Because, because I mean, how I would put it is like, this guy kind of looks like he was in a movie once.
Yeah, he looks like he might have made a contract with a Yeti.
Yeah, well, this guy here looks suspicious. He's not wearing a wig this time around, and
No.
good for him though. That wig was horrible. Like I thought that the wig on director looked very fucking weird. It could be the same wig.
It looked funny on him, but I was thinking the same thing.
Is it not like why? Go back and see director back in '86
like
when he
the
showed
same wig.
It looks like a wig, and it looks like the same wig that Tiger Boy.
And notice we only see him in 2008, which means conveniently you don't see the director wearing the wig the same time as Taiga wearing the wig. So
so it's like Did what? Did they have Did you spend all the money on
Castle
Dora? On Castle Dora? Like is there no money for other stylists? So
it's kind of like the opposite of Turbo Power Rangers movie, where nostalgia critics said it's like we spend most of our budget on Diva Tox's bust and on Johnny Young Bosch's hair, so we didn't have enough money left for like all the other effects.
Oh yeah. No, I know that one, and if you know the behind the scenes of that movie, what they were trying to do, God. Why didn't we get that? But mismanagement of money. That and the director was a total tool. But So Mio is now having eyes on Wataru because she now knows that Wataru is Kiva. She now knows this, which. What is she gonna do? Was she gonna follow her heart and protect her mate?
Well, the thing is, she doesn't know he's Kiva yet.
Not yet.
No, a Bishop knows.
I'm sorry. But because he saw it happen.
Yeah. But he left that part out in order to trick Mio into fighting Kiva, because either A, he'll have the Queen defeat the biggest nuisance of the Fangire Kingdom, and she will affirm her loyalty to the king, or Kiva will go to crush her like any other Fangire, and he won't weep any tears because he never liked her to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Taiga runs a business,
boy.
and apparently his thing is eliminating anyone that creates technology that improves lives for humanity. So
basically the mafia.
I'd say more like a Dalek. Because like Fangires can't breed with humans, just like how Daleks can't breed with Time Lords, and they have to, and they can only have progress advances the Daleks, but not humans. But so he gets a laser dude and a pharmaceutical dude eliminated, and the butler does the work for him. Separately from Mio, Taiga meets Wataru and tells him that he's engaged. And Wataru, being the cinnamon roll that he is delighted. It's like, hey, I'm so happy for you. But
such a sweet boy.
But later on, Wataru does eliminate the butler because he witnesses him turning into a moose Fangire, who uses the same ostrich hands as the Sea Star Fangire used.
Yeah, it's a moose. Sheesh.
Moose with ostrich hands.
With ostrich hands. Yeah.
Yeah, and so Kiva eliminates him, standard fare, but he is being observed. He is being observed by a mysterious white Kamen Rider. Oh, and also the fight against the Moose Guy is the same place where Maya fought against Ricky because Ricky tried to expose her as the Fangire Queen. So
Yeah.
So that's pretty much the episode right there.
That's all 3 episodes plus 1. And who is this mysterious white rider that is watching from the shadows?
So final thoughts on this episode before we give our scores?
You could have just focused on like the last 5 minutes and that's all anyone would have cared about,
Yeah.
Like we know who this white looking rider is, even though technically I'm like, so wait, you're canon, but Ray is not.
Yes.
And technically speaking, it's kind of like you both kind of are the same
person, yes.
but not.
Yeah.
It's
like they took parts of Arc and Ray and just put them together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like how they
because I'm
took,
like, it's a cool design. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. It's a very sweet design. It's better. It's better than Ixa.
Yeah.
It's better than Ixa. I'm gonna say that. At me if you want to. But I'm like, this look is a lot more better than Ixa, and it makes more sense in terms of the story plot line. Because sometimes I look at Ixa and I'm like, why are you here, Ixa? Like, what? That's the one thing that I'm like, well.
And again, Ixa is the most passed around rider built since Kaiza.
Ugh, I swear, it's the village bicycle. Everyone's had a ride.
The train keeps on rolling.
Yep.
Yeah, the Ixa
so
train.
Yeah, I mean, my final thoughts were you could have just focused on the last 5 minutes of this episode, Moose and all, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Like the last 5 minutes are the ones that really now the tonal shift will change.
Yeah, for me, I would have to say I kind of hate the fact that they give away right away the fact that 1, Taiga is Maya's son. 2, Taiga is the Fangire king, and So if I could change anything, and this kind of bleeds into the next episode. So, I will spoil a little bit about the next episode. Honestly, the only thing I'm going to spoil about the next episode is that you actually see this new Kamen Rider transformer, and we already know who it is. It's Taiga. There. That's the only thing we need to know about the next episode. But, yeah, so, I would have done things differently. First of all, I would not reveal that Maya's son's name is Taiga. Back in episode 28. Don't reveal that his name is Taiga. Then and even throughout this episode, whenever they refer to the Fangire King in present day, never show his face.
Yeah,
just don't show his face ever.
That I totally agree. I absolutely agree.
Yeah, and then when Taiga does show up in front of Wataru, just make it look like he's just another human who Wataru used to be friends with, and yet another friend that will end up hurting him because of some kind of secret face. Man, Wataru can't catch a break.
Poor Wataru is just constantly getting scammed by people. I'm your friend. No, I'm not.
Yeah, so it's so there's that. And you can show the mysterious new rider. But then in the following episode, then you reveal that the new rider. Then you take the scene where Maya was holding Taiga. It's my sweet darling Taiga. Save it for the end of the next episode, so that when we see this new writer show up and do his thing, we still don't know who it is technically. And then when he demorphs, then we, the audience, find out that it was Taiga all along. And then show that scene in the flashback where Maya's holding the baby and says, I'm home, my darling Taiga. So that's when all three of those things come together.
Yeah.
Taiga is the king and the mysterious white rider. Because
Not that white rider.
Yeah, and so as Enrico Pucci from JoJo would say, we are all fated to converge by the power of gravity. This is destiny.
As it may be, but goddamn, yeah, no. How many times did you say, Taiga, if this was a drinking game, we'd all be dead?
Yeah. And it was not even intentional. But look at that.
No.
We managed to discuss an entire episode in just 10 minutes. Can you believe that?
Well, there wasn't much to say. That's kind of the thing. This is one of those transitional episodes where it's like, now this is like official filler, but it's only like the last couple of minutes. Only certain bits are gonna like translate to the next saga of storytelling. So,
yeah, if you really think about it, it does episode 33 is sort of a part 2 to this episode. But the thing is, it's really difficult to separate this episode from the previous 3 just because you had that transition of Mio attacking Wataru. So it's like, so it kind of bleeds over. You could say it's a 5-parter, but let's not. But yeah. So for me, I'd have to say these episodes get 9, 10, 8.
I think the 3-parter in its entirety, with just the resolving of Mio and Yuri, we're giving it 9s. Although the last episode gets like at least an 8 just because of what I said. Like there, like certain tidbits are the only things that stand out. The entire story is like that of we're transitioning into the next part of this saga.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, everyone's fates are converging like gravity. Or as Kronk would say, I love it when it all comes together. All right, comments, guys. Let's see what the comments have to say. Vanguards are drawn to human odor, so use Dio to avoid Dio. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep.
It's better than the other. It's almost as fun as the other joke you made about Boom Boomers. Acceleracers 5. Boom Boom Sabotage. Freaking Tony Hawk, man. Like, you took 2 direct-to-video things and put them together. Okay, I was waiting so long for Steve to talk about Shizuka in this episode.
Wait, like what? Like later on that she winds up hooking both Wataru and Mio back up because she felt bad?
And I suppose I think he also means he means the whole thing because
everyone knows, and I've gotten that whole thing about people tell me it's like I thought I've made it clear. Like, you're right, you're absolutely right. Like, Shizuka is 14 years old in this series. That is very true. Mm-hmm. But talking about her now. The actress is called Rinko.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, no, it is kind of weird because even myself, I was like, I didn't develop these feelings for Shizuka until like way later, only to be like, wait, so she's only like a few years younger than I am. So yeah, honestly,
she was born in 93.
93. I was born in 88. So there's at least a 5.
Yeah.
But still, very few what I say are actual waifus in Kamen Rider for me. But Shizuka's up there, and some people are like, she's 14. I'm like, I saw this show back in 2012.
Yeah. It's like, here's the thing. My anime crush when I was younger was Eureka from Eureka 7.
Eureka 7, yeah.
But the thing is, even though the character was 14 years old, so was I.
Yeah. So like when
I was
saw
14
the show,
when the show aired on
when I saw the show, and I was like, I did the math. Okay, so 2008.
Yeah.
And it's like 4 years, so she's already like at least 18. But it was just like, all right, again, I don't know Rika. I don't know Oriko. I wish I were to know her. I wish I could meet her one day, but I don't know how likely that's going to happen. But it's the show is
Animal Heroes.
Yeah, I'm probably going to ask them, like, yeah, can we get some of the ladies out here? I mean, don't get me wrong. We love our guys, but can we get some of the ladies just to know that they have American fans? I don't know if that's actually a thing, if they are aware of this. But yeah. Some people were like, "Oh, it's gonna be a Shizuka centric episode," and I'm like, "Yeah, but you did my girl dirty in these episodes, man.
Yeah,
you did her dirty." Like, I'm like, "Oh my god, it's a Shizuka centric episode." Like, no, well, you don't need girls. You have me. Like, oh god.
That was creepy on her side.
Yeah, that was horrible. They did my girl dirty. They really did.
Yeah,
they really did.
They basically made her into Debbie Gallagher in season 4 of Shameless.
Yeah. Oh god, no. Just I'm like, my darling wife. Just no, honey, please no. But then again, like you said, she looked like she had fun doing this type of stuff, so good for her. And remember, people, this show is about like almost 20 years old at this point.
Yeah, dang, I can't believe the show's for more than 15 years old.
Yeah, it's like 15 years old, so everyone at this point is like in their 30s or even more. But though, I've seen a photo of Jiro, like, as he's old, and he has aged like a fine wine, that man.
Yeah, he did not age. I mean, we've seen him.
Yeah. Jiro, his actor, yes, obviously he looks older, but not like, god damn, dude, what happened? Like, I haven't seen you in 5 years. What the fuck happened? He has aged beautifully, that man. But yeah. Does that clear up everyone's, like, my love for a 14-year-old girl in a show that's like almost 20 years old?
From 15 years ago, yeah.
Yeah, when I was like 18 and she was like 19 or 18 and she was 14, I'm like, yeah, no, I would prefer that I had met her when she was like in her 20s and I was like 24, 25. So
yeah,
let's leave it at that.
Yeah, I mean, the age difference is less suspect now compared to back then.
Yeah, so who wants to take a jab at me? Well, who's next?
I mean, to be fair, when I was 30, I was dating someone who was 23, so.
That's pushing it for me, man, but it's not totally bad.
Yeah. Again, we first met when they were 23. But still, it's like, no, like, this I'm not dating people that young anymore. No, you have to be, like, you can't be younger than 25 at this point. You can't be younger than 25.
Next question.
Yeah, and that's pretty much it. That's all the comments we got.
Take a jab at me. That's the last question. Okay.
Well, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please be sure to comment, like, and subscribe to us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Ding the bell icon to stay notified for our latest videos. And share, because it helps us out with the algorithms. We do Ultraman Tiga on Mondays, Kamen Rider Gotcha on Wednesdays, Bakage Sentai Boom Boomja on Thursdays, and Kamen Rider Kiva on Sundays. Obviously, this week we did Kiva on Friday instead of Sunday, so enjoy your Tokuless Sundays. But
but more importantly, you got 3 straight days of Toku action. You got a nice little boom boom jur sandwich between 2 slices of Kamen Rider right there. But we are going to go back to a regularly scheduled program next week. So there's that. And be sure to check out our sister channel, The Buttery Show, where we do more reviews, video game news, etc. Next week, we will announce our next project. And if you want to check out our personal content, you could find this disembodied voice at Sid Prince on Instagram.
That is true. Very true. Yep. Right now, I have been posting my adventures from coming from California to Nevada. Love seeing friends and family here. But also, if anyone watching this within the weekend, if you are any of our fans, I will be attending. Please drop a line. Or if you see me at a convention, please come up and say hello. I would love to hear your feedback. I would love to see our fans because it's you guys that keep us going.
Absolutely. Yeah, and you can find me on Instagram, Boken_Kabuto, and on Twitch at twitch.tv/BokenKabuto. And I will be at Robo Toy Fest. So if you guys want to say hi to us, but more closer to California, you can say hi to us there. And with all that said, guys, thank you so much. We hope you have a great end of the month of April. I think we're just gonna have the 1 episode of Ultraman before it's gonna be May. And until then, stay safe, stay hydrated, update emergency kits, hug your loved ones, make sure that other people are not answering your phones for you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and make sure that your butlers aren't being a menace behind your back. As well as your bros, your gals, etc. Have a wonderful, prosperous weekend, and we'll see you all next time. Bye.
Bye, guys.